what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as it concerns Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan showing interest of joining the Los Angeles Lakers in free agency. Now, before I get into the rumored reports that surrounding Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan to the Lakers, before anything, like always, guys, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share my videos all over Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media stuff, and of course, like always, please be sure to like all of my social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at ZSPN. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, subscribe to the channel and make sure to subscribe to the ZSPN podcast on Anchor. It is also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, and Breaker, and all those great distribution podcasts is out there. And guys, and also make sure to hit that notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button for this channel. It will let you all know when I upload on ZSPN on YouTube. It will be much appreciated if you just show me the love and support by just clicking that bell and subscribing to the channel. Now, guys, getting into the reports, I mean, there's a lot of reports lately when it's surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers, and this one in particular really shines to me because, I have been uploading videos left and right when it came to the Lakers showing interest in certain players when it comes to rebuilding this team to a championship contending team surrounding LeBron and Anthony Davis. And so far I brought up players like Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in the conversations of a potential interest when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers of who they're targeting. So, but according to the reports, I believe it was from Brad Turner, he puts out there that both players, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, former teammates in Toronto, showing interest of joining the Los Angeles Lakers in free agency. Now, guys, if I was speaking from a fan perspective, not doing YouTube and just only caring about the Lakers just getting these type of players, I would say do it, Lakers. Get these players and let's sign them. Let's go for it. But, guys, this is reality we're talking about. Okay, we have to think about the cap and, what the Lakers can do and which one of these players would beneficially be a great fit alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. And I have to say this right now, both players, they fit very well for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, you're talking about DeMar DeRozan, who is a 20-point per game type of player. He will obviously deliver for you when it comes to scoring wise. On the defensive side, it's not really there that much. And when it comes to being a shooter, he only shot 29% from the three. So if you're looking for that particular player when it comes to shooting wise, that's not DeMar DeRozan. But if you're looking for a guy who could take over a game and score for you from the mid-range, going to the rim and making layups left and right like 90% of the time, then you obviously have to look at DeMar DeRozan when it comes to scoring. Okay, the Lakers last season lacked the scoring ability, and when it's all said and done, I mean, DeMar DeRozan, he just fits that description. So, and he's a native. He's a native of California. He's from Compton. He's a Lakers fan, and he's a fan of Kobe. God rest his soul. So, when it's all said and done, DeMar DeRozan is that type of guy that you will look at when it comes to scoring. And I believe the Lakers need to look for that particular third option type of player that will take over a game when you see LeBron or Anthony Davis sitting out just to rest here and there when it comes to each quarter. And when it comes to somebody like DeMar DeRozan, who played very well for the Spurs, I mean, he averaged, as I mentioned, 20 points per game, and he's an all-star, so he has the capability of bringing that type of momentum in certain games. Now, defensively, as I mentioned, it's not really there. I mean, the last time I checked, I think he averaged around 2 to 3 rebounds a game, but the main part of his repertoire is his offensive side of the ball, and that is scoring. So, scoring the basket. So, DeMar DeRozan is a good fit in that sort of sense as being a third star on the Lakers to help LeBron and Anthony Davis. Kyle Lowry, on the other hand, the Lakers are looking for a point guard, okay? Dennis Schroeder, it really seemed to be a realistic possibility that he will be moving on in free agency and joining a different team. I'm not sure if it's going to be a sign and trade type of scenario, but, if he, it doesn't really look like that he's going to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers. But there's some good news, though, when it comes to somebody coming back. There's some reports that are being out there when it comes to Montrezl Harrell leaning towards opting into his contract. Now, these are just rumors. From certain websites from Lakers Nation and other certain news outlets out there that are implementing that Trez is considering opting into his contract on his $9 million plus type of contracts if he decides to. And the reason I'm bringing this up because if any given moment, if the Lakers want to do a sign and trade type of scenario that has to do with Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Lowry is in that conversation for a type of sign and trade type of scenario. And if the Lakers want to package a deal to put in like Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Kuzma, Trez, and a couple of maybe first round picks or something, just try to make a contract fit with certain players that the Lakers are targeting in the free agency market or in the offseason in general, they have to look at Kyle Lowry, the Toronto Raptors, Russell Westbrook from the Washington Wizards, Chris Paul, maybe possibly with the Phoenix Suns, and Buddy Hield, those certain players. And if to hear that type of report that Trez wants to come to opt into his contract, it's a possibility that either he remains with the Lakers or he will potentially be part of a trade package to get a certain player to improve the Lakers next season. So I just like to put that out there. But, the reason that Kyle Lowry is a good fit for the Lakers is because, he has that type of trait to fit very well with certain players. And, the relationship that he had with DeMar DeRozan was a good example. He is an all-star. And, for a guy like Kyle Lowry who can shoot for you and also can, be that floor general, kind of a similar play to what Chris Paul does, for his career. Even though Chris Paul did it better, but, for a guy who has a similar game to him, guys, if you just picture Chris Paul, how he plays, just think about how Kyle Lowry does. He does the same type of moves and type of leadership and type of floor general-esque playmaker type of player. And even though he is up there in age, I still believe that he can give you 12 to 15 points a game. I'm not sure if he can average around 20, but it's a possibility that he can. But he has that type of ability to do that. He, as I mentioned, he's a shooter. I believe he scored somewhere around 37 or 38% from the three. I might be mistaken. Maybe it was around 40, but he does that. He can deliver that for you when it comes to that sort of instant, and that's why, as I mentioned with Montrezl Harrell, the Lakers can, there's a guaranteed chance if they do decide to, if he does decide to come back and opt into his contract, there's a possibility that he could be part of a trade package to get a player like Kyle Lowry. And if I had to say who's a more realistic type of destination, both of them are. I have to say, guys, DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, they are a real target destinations, predictable, if you will, if the Lakers do decide to target these particular players. But if I had to pick one of these two players, I would have to say Kyle Lowry, because if the Lakers want to pull off a trade in the offseason and the possibility of Montrezl Harrell opting into his contract, and there's a possibility the Lakers can package a deal and get him from the Toronto Raptors. I mean, that's a realistic type of scenario. And, you know, it could fit either other. I mean, they can get Russell Westbrook. They can get Buddy Hield. I mean, there's just a wondrous type of news when it comes to Montrezl Harrell. Rumored reports being out there that he's leaning towards opting into his contract. And this report that I got yesterday was very surprising, because I thought, judging by how, you know, further into the season that he was in the doghouse and, you know, not being played as much, you know, it really seemed that he may be moving on from the Los Angeles Lakers and not opting into his contract. But to hear the type of reports that being out there that he wants to opt in, it just fits wonders and, you know, kind of helps in both ways, you know, really. I mean, if he does come back to the Los Angeles Lakers, he could be a great help for the Lakers on the sixth man position. And, you know, it kind of builds of a Lakers type of scenario when it comes to, you know, if somehow they don't bring back Andre Drummond, his minutes will be improved more, and obviously he could be a huge help for the Lakers coming off the bench as that sixth man. So, you know, it just fits wonders, obviously. And he really did from the beginning of the season, as we saw from him as a Laker. But, you know, further down when, you know, when the Lakers were dealing with injuries and, you know, just things were not clicking at that time, you know, Montrezl Harrell, you know, just really declined after that. But, you know, he has the ability to give us 15 to 18 points a game. So if he does come back, and I hope he does, I think either way he will be a good asset to the team, you know, just being with the Lakers for another year. But another way, he could be a good trade asset. And hopefully, you know, things will turn out in the end. I mean, either way, if he's a good trade asset or just remains with the Lakers, it will be great on both ends for the Lakers moving forward. And, yeah, Kyle Lowry, I think, is the best fit. But if, in a perfect world, if somehow both of these guys, you know, say to themselves, you know what, I want to play with you, I want to, you know, win a championship, and, you know, why don't we just go join the Los Angeles Lakers, team up with LeBron and Anthony Davis, let's take less and join the Lakers. Guys, it will be a blessing from the heavens, okay, from the you know, the NBA gods, if somehow DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry decide to take less to join the Los Angeles Lakers. But knowing how the NBA works, you know, the players, you know, they want to get paid. So obviously when it comes to this sort of sense, it's kind of looks like that, you know, maybe one of these type of players could be a Los Angeles Laker you know, when free agency hit I believe in 2 weeks. So you know, it just sort of depends on what their motives are. And, you know, the Lakers have a lot on their plate when it comes to bringing back their own players. I mean, as I forgot, you know, I forgot to mention this, but, you know, I'm going to mention it now. You know, the Lakers give THT a qualifying offer, so somewhere around $1.9 million. So the ability, and plus they have bird rights on him, so if there's a contract out there that's somewhere around like a, I don't know, like a 2 to 3 year contract around 15 to 20 million. Maybe the Lakers will match it. It just sort of depends on if the Lakers want to bring back THT. Personally, I want the Lakers to bring it back because he was a good help for the team. And plus, you know, he's another trade asset, you know. If somehow, you know, once the trade deadline approaches in like February of 2022, you know, maybe the Lakers could, you know, trade him to a team and get some, you know, some assets out of it. So, I think it's a good move by the Los Angeles Lakers to give him a qualifying offer. It makes him a restricted free agent, and, you know, the Lakers have bird rights on him, so they could potentially, you know, match a contract and just bring him back. But you never know. If the price is too high, he could potentially, you know, move on from the Lakers and join a different team. I don't know, maybe the Chicago Bulls where he's from, or maybe the New York Knicks, because they have the cap to, you know, build a really good team this off season. So yeah, guys, that's all I really have to say when it comes to the Lakers and, you know, the Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan situation. I mainly brought up the gist of what's going on with the Lakers as of late. I mean, there's a lot of news coming out, guys. As I mentioned from the beginning, there's a lot of things going on when it comes to surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers, okay? DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry showing interest of joining the Los Angeles Lakers. Montrezl Harrell leaning towards opting in his contract with the $9 million that he has left on his 2-year contract that he signed back in 2020, I believe. So, there's that sort of instance. And then you have THT, the Lakers giving him a qualifying offer around $1.9 million. So, there's that sort of aspect if the Lakers want to bring him back or, match a contract that comes to him in the free agency market. So, we just have to look forward to that. And, guys, just real quick, when it comes to, Chris Duarte, the NBA draft combine prospect that's projected to go to the Lakers. I mean, last time I saw a draft mock when it comes to the Lakers, he was like, I saw like maybe multiple times that he lands with the Lakers. And guys, I mentioned this in my last video. I'm not want to go into details about him because, we don't even know about the circumstances of the Lakers and the 22nd overall pick. They could potentially trade the pick if a trade does come their way when it comes to, packaging a deal for, if they go after a player like Russell Westbrook, Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield, those certain players. So, when it comes to that sort of instance, the Lakers in that 22nd overall pick, it's kind of questionable at the moment. But I made a video when it came to certain draftees, the Lakers, if they do decide to keep the 22nd overall pick, they could target this player or that player, and I brought Chris Duarte in the conversation. I'll put the link to that particular video if you guys want to check it out. But there's that sort of aspect of the 22nd overall pick if the Lakers want to use it or not. So Chris Duarte, he's in the conversation because the Lakers promised him if he falls to them, they will draft him. And why not? Because he is, even though he is up there as a senior, oldest draftee in the draft, even though he is, I think the better experience, NBA ready type of player that's in this draft class, the better opportunity that he has. I mean, look what Kyle Kuzma was. I mean, I believe he was a sophomore or a junior when he, was in the draft. So, in Utah. So, the better experienced player, the better player that he will be as NBA ready going into any sort of NBA season. So, as a junior, as a rookie. So Chris Duarte, guys, I made a video about him in my couple of videos ago. I'll put the link to that if you guys want to know my thoughts about it. But I think it's a good move if the Lakers do draft him, but it was sort of remains to be seen if they will keep it or not. So that's all I really have to say, guys. I mean, this is probably a long video for me, but I just want to keep you guys up to date about what's going on when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers as of late. There was a lot of news that came yesterday. I probably made one video when it came to Reggie Bullock, but I was just busy, so I just couldn't have time to upload videos. I mean, I went on my social media and, gave what's the updates that were going on. So if you follow me on social media, I'm always active when it comes to, posting things when it comes to surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers if I don't have time to upload videos on YouTube. So please, guys, show me the love and support by liking all of my social media sites. ZSPN on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like I said in the beginning, I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, guys, subscribe to the channel. I mean, please, I really do appreciate it. You show me the love support for my YouTube channel, ZSPN. Hit that notification bell so you will know when I upload on YouTube. I mean, it just helps you out, and at the same time helps me knowing if you guys are watching my videos. I really do appreciate if you do so. And guys, make sure to subscribe to the ZSPM podcast. It's the same content that I give on YouTube, only you can listen to me on podcast now. And I'm on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify and Breaker and all of those great podcast distributions out there. I'll leave the links to those also in the description of this video so you guys can check them out. And of course, subscribe to the channel, guys, and give me your thoughts about Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan showing interest of joining the Los Angeles Lakers. Who do you think the Lakers should target most? Do you think it's DeMar DeRozan or Kyle Lowry? And what do you think about Montrezl Harrell leaning towards opting into his contract? I mean, this is just rumored reports, but if he does do so, do you think it's a good move on his part and or not? I mean, please comment down below about that. I'm probably missing something else. THT, do you think the Lakers should match any sort of contract that comes his way, or if somehow there was a big contract that came to him, do you think the Lakers should still match it, or should he just move on, or should they just move on from him because of the big contract that came his way? Or and also, guys, what do you think about Chris Duarte being promised by the Los Angeles Lakers if he does fall to them with the 22nd overall pick? Because next week is the draft. I mean, I believe it's the 29th. July 29th is NBA draft night of 2021. Do you think Chris Duarte is a good fit, or do you think it's Murphy the Third, or I forgot his first name, guys. Forgive me. His name escapes me for a minute. I know it was Murphy the Third or somebody else that, as I mentioned in my videos when it came to the draft. I'll put the link to those videos, as I mentioned, in the video, but I'm just rambling at the moment. I really do appreciate it, guys, for watching this video and liking all my social media sites and showing me the love support for my channel ZSPN. I really want to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.